Welcome back. Some breaking news now coming in. A strike which had been announced by truckers, members of the All India Motor Transport Congress, after new rules were suggested which would result in up to 10 years in jail in hit-and-run cases. Well, it appears now that that strike may be called off. I'm joined now by my colleague Parimal for the very latest. And in just a few moments, we'll be looking at the issue of road safety, why it is in the first place that the government is actually interested in pushing through legislation which might actually result in saving lives. But for now, for the moment, it appears that the strike which was called by truckers, among others, has been called off. Parimal, what are the details?
कट के आ रही है, लेकिन अगर मैं सुन पा रहा हूं तो इसमें सीधे तौर पे ये बताना जरूरी है कि करीब 2 घंटे के आसपास, 2.5 घंटे के आसपास ये बैठक चली है, जिसमें ऑल इंडिया मोटर ट्रांसपोर्ट कांग्रेस के 10 प्रतिनिधियों की मुलाकात हुई गृह सचिव से, और उसमें इस बात को लेकर उनको आश्वासन दिया गया कि हिट एंड रन को लेकर अभी तक कोई कानून जो है वो लागू नहीं हुआ है, इसके लागू नहीं हुए हैं, और भी इसको लागू किया जाए तो ऑल इंडिया मोटर ट्रांसपोर्ट कांग्रेस और जितने भी वाहन चालक हैं और ट्रांसपोर्ट कांग्रेस के स्टेक होल्डर्स की बात करें तो उनसे बातचीत और सलाह मशवरा करके इसको लागू किया जाएगा। लिहाजा ऑल इंडिया मोटर ट्रांसपोर्ट कांग्रेस की तरफ से कहा गया है कि जितने भी ड्राइवर्स हैं जो अपना विरोध जता रहे हैं सड़कों पर, वो अपने काम पे लौट जाए, क्योंकि अभी तक ये कानून का प्रावधान जो है वो लागू नहीं हुआ है और एक सलाह मशवरा के बाद लागू होगा। कुल मिला के जो गतिरोध की स्थिति थी, जो सड़कों पर हमने देखी, जिससे एसेंशियल सर्विसेज के भी प्रभावित होने की आशंका बन रही थी, कई जगहों प्रभावित भी हो रहा था, अब उसको लेकर चीजें दुरुस्त से नजर आनी चाहिए। जब खासतौर पे जो इनकी सबसे बड़ी संस्था है और मोटर ट्रांसपोर्ट कांग्रेस ने ये भी कह दिया कि ये जो भरोसा उनको मिलना चाहिए था गृह मंत्रालय से, गृह सचिव से, वो भरोसा उन्हें मिला है कि कानून के ना तो कोई प्रावधान अभी लागू हुए हैं और जब भी लागू किया जाएगा तो एक सलाह मशवरा जरूर किया जाएगा।
All right, Parimal, we'll leave it over there. Thanks very much for joining us. The Union Home Secretary Ajay Bhalla also saying that they've had a discussion, and all that they want to say is that before implementing the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, that's the new set of criminal laws, we will have a discussion with the All India Motor Transport Congress representatives, and then only we'll take a decision. So that's where the government is right now. But why exactly or what exactly is it that we're trying to do by looking at hit and run? What is it that the proposal actually stands for? We're going to be looking at that very closely. So let's firstly look at a set of graphics, if we can have that up. So what is the new hit and run guideline which has been suggested? Well, there are two distinct categories under death due to negligence. The Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita includes a more stringent law. The penalty for hit and run is up to 10 years in terms of a jail term. A penalty for hit and run could also mean a fine up to 7 lakh rupees. Now, the protesters were saying that this is not acceptable to them. What we will be discussing is, based on statistics, how in fact we do need to improve our laws. Why the change in the hit and run law in the first place? Well, government sources say that the changes which were introduced was because of Supreme Court observations. The Supreme Court called for strict action in such cases. In multiple cases, drivers flee after accidents. What are the statistics that we are looking at, which is why we're actually having this conversation? In hit and run cases in India, let's take a look at the 2022 statistics on top. A whopping 30,846 people have been killed. Look at the central column. In 2021, it was 25,938. But the most frightening number is this. And let's bring out the next one, the rise in road accidents in India. Again, let's take a look at the central column in the next graphic. If we just pull that up, the central column in 2022, there were 168,491 fatalities on Indian roads. That's up from 2021. The 2022 was 168,491. And look at the number of people who are injured. We often neglect the number of people who are injured. Many people suffer from profound disabilities. They are often young people in the prime of their lives. Entire families are wrecked. These are the highest statistics in the world. India needs better laws. That's been the argument. Dr. Pastricha, Dr. P.S. Pastricha, author and road safety guide, and the driver's manual, joins us now. Former Director General of Police Maharashtra. Thanks, sir, very much for being with us. Do you believe that a way needs to be found to have sterner or stricter laws while also taking into account the fact that it's not just bad drivers? We face lots of problems: poorly constructed roads, no lane indicators on roads, and a host of factors which actually contribute to accidents.
Well, one thing is very clear, that India has the worst accident record in the world, while the entire world has about 13 lakh fatalities every year. India contributes to about 1.70 lakh, which is about 12%. And every hour we lose 18 to 19 innocent lives. So that's the scenario. We should keep it back at the back of our mind. Now, laws have to be stringent, but we have to be very fair and objective also. We must see that the ground reality is, without that, we should not take a decision. Like, I'll give you a few examples. There could be three situations. One situation is where somebody is drunk, or he has overloaded his vehicle with this material, protruding out, where he knows that this can cause accident. So that means this can even, if somebody gets killed, it should attract the provision of existing 304 IPC, which is culpable homicide, not amounting to murder. And in the new law, it is 105 under the law. I think that needs a severe penalty, because here the man knows what he is doing. Second scenario would be where a person, somebody gets killed and the driver runs away. What we call hit and run case.
Yes.
No, it's not specific of trucks. It also applies to any driver.
Yes.
Now, there will be two situations. One, where a man wants to get away with the offense he has committed and runs away with a particular mens rea. Now, that's a serious matter. We must have stringent penalty. But the second situation is where the accident takes place, a person gets killed, and mob, gathers, and the man fearing a threat to his life, he runs away. But then there is also provision in the law that within 24 hours,
yes,
he can report to the nearest police station this accident. So if he run away, let him report to another police station after saving his life. So there is no bar. The third situation, where we have to take a decision, seeing the ground reality, that is, an accident takes place. How does it take place? Some child, comes across. Some cyclist, is the fault of the cyclist or the pedestrian, and the man is not able to apply brake and the person gets killed.
Yep.
It can happen with you. It can happen with me.
Yes.
But unfortunately, investigating agency police, they take a path of least resistance. They don't want any criticism. So the bigger vehicle, if it's a car and truck, then
exactly.
the truck. If it's a car and pedestrian, then the car driver, they just register FIR straight away and go ahead. No, that is not good. Here come the prudence, where the investigating officer has to apply his mind,
right,
make inquiry, and then ascertain the cause and then take a decision. In these cases, if we have 5 years, I think it will be too stringent. It is not proper. So we have to ensure that different segments of the various circumstances are taken into account.
Right. Dr. Pastricha, I take the point that you're making, that, there are lots of variables here we need to look at. I'm sorry, I'm completely out of time on this program, but I'd like to thank you very much, sir, for being with us. We'll be back with Left, Right and Center tomorrow. From all of us on this team, good night.